Dear student, I am Mrs. Pratibha. So I have come again with a new session in mathematics topic, that is for the chapter lines and angles. So now in this session I am going to teach you the other three parts is left from the previous section, that is linear pair of angles, what is vertically opposite angles, what are angles at a point, what is angles at a point. So in this session we are going to learn about three more concepts. So in the previous session we have learned about complementary angles, supplementary angles and adjacent angles. So in this section we are going to learn vertically opposite angles, adjacent angles and angles at a point. Okay, so now first shall we learn, let us learn about linear pair of angles. So what is linear pair of angles? Now your linear pair of angles is related to your adjacent angles. So the concept of linear pair of angles comes with the adjacent angle. So let us see what is this linear pair of angles. So let me take let me draw a line. So we will linear pair, as I told you, linear pair of angle is related to your adjacent angle. So let us study what it is, how it is. So first let me draw line. We draw a line. So randomly one line. Okay, I'm going to draw a line. Let me name this line as xy. Line xy. Let me name it as line xy. Now, on this line, again I am going to draw one more on this line. I am going to draw a ray. So this is a ray on this line. Let me call those rays meet at a point O. Let me say meet at a point O. So let this be OA. We name it as A. Now, what you have to do is, let us measure those two. Now tell me, what type of angles are these two? Now I am defining linear pair of angles, but I am asking you something else. What type of angles are these? Yes, these two are adjacent angles. So this angle and this angle have a common arm, that is OA, or common ray, that is OA. So these two angles are adjacent angles. Now we want to, now I said yes, this linear pair of angles is related to adjacent angles. So we have, now how this linear pair is defined? So you got two adjacent angles. Now what is that linear pair? We will see now. Now, what is this? This is a protractor, right? So I have a protractor in my hand. So using this protractor, I will measure these two angles. I have drawn a line and there is a ray on that, falling on that line. So now I am going to measure the angles. So let me measure the angle. Yes, so let me measure it. So it comes from where should I measure? If I want to measure this angle, I should start from this zero. If I want to measure this angle, I should start from this zero. So now I want this angle. So let me measure. I will start from this zero. So where it reaches to 125. So my this angle is 125. Now let me go to the other side. Let me see what is this angle. Okay. Now what does this angle measure? Yes, I have to come from this zero. So it reaches to 55. So this angle measure is 55 degree. Yes. Oh, you will be wondering what ma'am has done, the teacher has done here. She said this is, okay, she has measured the two adjacent angles. So what happened? What is that about linear pair of angles? Where that linear pair of angles comes? Yes, linear means what? It is a straight line. Yes. So the linear pair of angle means two angles, two adjacent angles are said to be linear pair of angles. If they are, let us add these two angles. Now let us add these two angles. 125 plus 55 degree. So what is this? 125 plus 55 is 5 plus 5, 10, 2, 7, 8, so 180 degree. So their sum add up to 180 degree. So and then these two are adjacent angles. That means What is the definition of linear pair of angles? Two adjacent angles are said to be linear pair of angles if their sum add up to 180 degree. If the sum of the two adjacent angles are 180 degree, then those two angles are called linear pair of angles. Now, do you remember something else here? When I said 125 plus 55 degrees, 180 degree? Yes, we remember something that is called the supplementary angle. When the two angles add up to add up to 180 degree, two angles if they add up to 180 degree, then those two angles are supplementary angles. So these two angles we can call it as supplementary angles. Now, all the supplementary angles are linear pair of angles, can I say? Can we say that all, because that add up to 180 degree, right? Two angles will be added in supplementary angles. Two angles add up to 180 degree. So can we say that all those supplementary angles are linear pair of angles? Let us see. Let me take an angle 90 degree. 92 degree I will take up. Okay. Then I will take up another angle 45 degree. 45 degree. I want the linear pair of angles. No? So one more angle is no, I take it 90 degree only. That will be a better one. 90 degree, and the other angle will be 90 degree. So these two angles we have. Now sum of these two angles are 180 degree. So these two are supplementary angles. But are these two angles are adjacent? The question arises. If the supplementary angles are adjacent angles, then those angles are linear pair of angles. Only if those supplementary angles are adjacent angles, then it will be a linear pair of angles. Otherwise, it is not a linear pair of angles. So, what we can say, all the linear pair of angles can be supplementary. All the linear pair of angles are supplementary angles. But all the supplementary angles are not linear pair of angles. Why? In the definition of linear pair of angles, we have that two adjacent angles are said to be supplementary. The two angles should be adjacent to each other. Otherwise, it is not, we cannot talk about linear pair of angles. Clear? So, don't confuse about the linear pair and adjacent. Supplementary angle. Linear pair of angles are supplementary angle, but supplementary angles are not linear pair because supplementary angles may not be adjacent to each other. If these two angles are adjacent, then it is a linear pair of angles. Adjacent and their sum add up to 180 degree, then it is a linear pair of angles. So this is about the linear pair of angles. Next, we will study about the vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles. So, vertically opposite. Vertical, you know how it is, vertical. Usually English language, vertically opposite to each other. So now we are talking about vertically opposite angles. So when do you can say talk about vertically opposite angles? Okay, so we can talk about vertically opposite angles when we have two lines. Those two lines has to intersect each other. Those two lines has to intersect each other. If those two lines intersect each other, then we can define about the vertically opposite angles. So let me draw two lines. And those two lines should intersect each other. So let me draw two lines. One line over here. One more line here. Line, so it should be represented with the arrow mark. So let me say the line XY and the line AB. They intersect at a point O. Let me say the point O. Now what are these vertically opposite angles here? Okay. So when two lines intersect each other, they form a four angles, right? So this is angle 1, this is angle 2, and this is angle 3, and this is angle 4. So we have when two lines intersected each other, we get 4 angles. Yes. So now these 4 angles, which are the vertically opposite angles? Vertically opposite. Now 1 and 2. What type of angle is 1 and 2? See, now don't forget about this. Just look at the angle 1 and 2. What type of angles are these? Yes, we know that this angle 1 and 2 has a common arm OX. So these are not vertically opposite. We have given the different name to it. What is that? Adjacent angles. Angle 1 and 2 are adjacent angles. So which is a vertically opposite? Again, angle 1 and 4. Angle 1 and 4 has the ray OA as a common arm. Right? So these two are adjacent angles. It is not a vertical opposite. So which is that? A vertically opposite? Angle 1 and 3. So angle 1 and 3. So here. So angle 1 and angle 3 are vertically opposite. Vertically opposite angles. Angle 1 and 3. Angle 3 are vertically opposite. Now what about this? So I have 3 and 1 and 3. So next similarly angle 2 and angle 4 are vertically opposite. 2 and angle 4 are vertically opposite angles. Opposite angles. So other angles will be adjacent to each other. 2 and 3 is adjacent, 3 and 4 adjacent, 4 and 1, 1 and 2. These are all adjacent to each other, adjacent angles. So 1 is vertically opposite to 3, exactly opposite. 1 is opposite, vertically opposite. 2 is vertically opposite to 4. So these are the, so if 2 lines are intersecting, you will have 2 pair of vertically opposite angles and 4 pair of adjacent angles. 1, 2, 1 pair, 2, 3, second pair, 3, 4, third pair, 4, 1, 4. So 4 pair of adjacent angles, 2 pair of vertically opposite angles we get when 2 lines intersect each other. Now let us see what is the condition for these two. What will be the measure of these two? Vertically opposite angles. Let me measure the angle 1. Let me measure the angle 1. So I have to click here. I want to measure angle 1. So from which side I need to measure? I need to measure from the right side 0. So 0, 10, 20. So it reaches up to 75. So this angle will be, angle 1 is equal to angle 2, how much? We'll see. Angle 3 is how much? We'll see. Angle 4. Okay? So we got angle 1 as 75 degree. 75 degree. Next we will measure angle 2. Okay? So angle 2 should be, yes, it is 105 degree. Angle 2 is 105 degree. Next we will measure angle 2 is done. Angle 3 we have to measure. Angle 3 I have to measure. So I have to measure from this side because my base is this side. So I have to measure from this 0. 0 it goes to how much reach? Should reach, yes, it is coming to 75 degree. Angle 3 is 75 degree. So without calculating, since these two are adjacent angles and this is a line, so it has to be a linear pair of angles. So this angle should be, without calculating, I can say it is 105 degree itself. Now observe the angle. What is angle 1? 75 degree. Angle 3? 75 degree. So 1 and 3 are equal. Similarly 2 and 4 are equal. So what you can say, tell about vertically opposite angles? Yes, so we can say that the vertically opposite angles are equal to one another. Vertically opposite angles are equal to one another. So this is about vertically opposite angles. So vertically opposite angles gives you all these ideas. So when you draw two lines are intersecting, we get 4 pair of adjacent angles, 2 pair of vertically opposite angles, and this vertically opposite angles are equal, and this adjacent angles form a linear pair of angles because their sum add up to 180 degree. So next, what is left now? The last one, angle at a point. Let's study that. So what should be the angle at a point? Same diagram I will draw. Let us draw. A point is taken. Similar one. I will just draw lines on those three. So this line. One more line I will draw like this. And one more line I will draw like this. So this means say this point is O, this point is A, B and C. So there are three adjacent angles are there. Now I want to measure angles at a point. What is the measure of that at a point? What is the angle measure? Okay. Now so that I will need to measure all these angles. I will measure what is the measure of this angle, this angle, this angle. We will check that. So this is the protractor. We will check. So I have a protractor here, I'll keep it here and I'll come to the point. So it is 125. So I can say this is somewhat around 125 degree. Next, this is about, so from this side I have to measure. Again, this is also around 125 degree. Next, I have left with this angle. Left with that angle, so what I got up to 110 degrees. So this comes to 110 degrees. So now let us add all these angles. Let us add all these three angles. So it is, let me see what it comes. Around the point 125 plus 125 plus 110 degree. 125 plus 125 is, okay, so it is 250 plus 100 is 360 degrees. So angles around a point should is equal to 360 degrees. So we have learned that the vertically opposite angles are equal and the linear pair of angles is add up to means two adjacent angles form a linear pair of angles if their sum add up to 180 degree, and if the vertically opposite angles are equal and then the angles at a point is equal to 360 degrees. So these are the three concepts that we learned in this session. So this lines and angles in this chapter we have learned about complementary angles, supplementary angles, adjacent angles, linear pair of angles, and vertically opposite angles and angles at a point. So in complementary angle means sum of the two angle is 90 degree. Supplementary angle is sum of the two angle is 180 degree. Adjacent angle means two angles having their common arms. Linear pair of angle means two adjacent angles having angles making a sum to 180 degree. Two adjacent angles add up to 180 degree. Then those are called linear pair of angles. Vertically opposite angles talk about two intersecting lines. Two intersecting lines you have, then you have a vertically opposite angles, and those vertically opposite angles are equal, and then angles at a point. So angles made at a point is equal to 360 degree, which we have verified. So that's all for today's session, and thank you.